Okay, thank you all for joining us. Can y'all hear me well on Zoom?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you all. Okay, so I'm going to call this meeting to order at, oh, I apologize. I'm going to do the land acknowledgement first. Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of people who have been known as the Gabrieleno, Band of Mission Indians of the Shishikwanga Village and Quiche Nation. Today, we acknowledge the painful history, genocide, and forced removal from this land on which we gather. Let us take a moment of silence in honor of the important contributions of the stewards of this land who came before us. PCC and its faculty, staff, and students recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This land acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process, working to be in good relationship with the people of the land and embodying equity in our practices and policies. Thank you all. So I'm going to call this meeting to order at 12:12 p.m. And I will begin by taking a roll call. So Natalie?
Here.
Thank you. Eugene?
Here.
Thank you. Jay?
Present.
Thank you. Brianna?
Here.
Thank you. Marcus?
Here.
Thank you. Jillian?
Here.
Thank you. Billy?
Here.
Thank you. Jonathan?
Present.
Thank you. Christian?
Here.
Thank you. Nat?
Here.
Thank you. David?
Here.
Thank you. And Melvin?
Here.
Thank you so much. Okay, so now that we've established quorum, I will begin to pull up the agenda, and I would like to motion to approve the agenda of October 27th, 2021.
I'd like to strike item D under discussion items. Discussion about public houses coming up.
So motion by to strike. Okay. C, correct?
Yeah, can I request that item?
D,
Oh, D.
sorry. 6D, okay.
Can I request that item 6C be moved up to 6A and 6A become B and then everything else that we've done went off?
So discussion item 6D,
6C
C, okay.
should become 6A and every other motion underneath, item underneath that move down a letter.
6A. Every other motion of the item. You move down one, correct? Okay, would anyone like to move with no changes? Okay, so first by Philly, with no changes. Second, okay. Second, Brianna. Okay, so any opposition? None? No opposition. Okay, thank you all. Agenda approved. Moving on to the minutes of October 6th, 2021. Oh, wait. Dang it. I would also, so how can I would like to make some changes actually to the agenda as well. I would like to table the approval of minutes of October 20th, the next meeting. Second, Marcus. Thank you. Apologize. Okay, so for that, I'm going to take a roll call vote. Beginning with Natalie, sorry.
Aye.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Jay.
Aye.
Thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Marcus.
Aye.
Thank you, Jillian. Thank you, Philly.
Aye.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Aye.
Thank you, Christian.
Aye.
Thank you, Matt.
Aye.
Thank you, David.
Aye.
Good, thank you all. All right, so with that, moving on to the approval of minutes of October 6, 2021. Again, for the record, I want to say I apologize for distributing these minutes late, extremely late. Just go through them all.
Move approval.
First by David. David. Second by Philly. Any opposition? No opposition. Okay, minutes approved of October 6th. Thank you. Moving on to public comment. Have any public comment? None there.
Hi guys, I miss you guys.
Hi Kelly, so I am, on behalf of Kelly, I'm going to show a video that is from Metro Micro. We weren't able to do so last week, so I will be sharing that now. All right, Kelly? Thank you.
Okay,
So
okay.
the thank you, Kelly. Okay, so just not sharing. All right, so, and also I just want to note, she had also asked me to inform you all that we are not able to use our UPass with Metro Micro, so it would cost $1, but once you begin, you get 2 free rides. So, yeah, thanks again, Kelly. Okay, so back to agenda. Okay, so going on to,
Oh, Chair, there's a public here wanting to speak in Zoom.
hello, Talia. I apologize. I didn't recall that you were going to be doing as a
Oh.
public.
No worries. Sorry, Carrie mentioned that I can pop in really quickly. Is this still okay?
Apologize for skipping.
Oh, don't apologize. No apologies necessary. It's hard to run hybrid meetings. Hi, everybody. My name is Talene Seropian. Perhaps I know some of you in the room. Hi. I think I saw Carrie wave. I'm a counselor here at PCC and do a few other things. But one of the new things that I'm part of is I'm the co-lead for something called the PRT, which is Partnership Resource Team. It's a year-long opportunity for PCC to look introspectively and consider our work when we do things as related to collegiality and communication. I think this is an area that these are two areas PCC has vastly improved on, but definitely needs a lot more improvement. It's definitely a bit more focused with the employees on campus, but I think students are super, super important. And so what I'm here for is to pitch an idea and ask for volunteers related to associated students and all students in general. We're requesting if we can have volunteers from either the AS board, the committees, or absolutely anybody that you believe would be a good fit to provide a diverse voice regarding focus groups that we're having next week. The one that's focused specifically on students is on Friday, November 5th from 12 to 1:30 on Zoom. And so you can be doing it from campus or home, but it will be November 5th. We're asking for 3 participants recruited through associated students. The idea is just to provide your experience as a student in relationship to PCC, both with students, but also amongst your staff and faculty and everybody that you interact with. And I think your voice is really important because while our voices should be heard, we do everything for students. So what a shame if we don't have you at the table and include your voice in this. And just so you know, these focus groups will be helping us plan a campus climate survey that will be launched on January 7th because we want more from the other folks on campus who can't participate. And we're also thinking of having one specific to students as well, using this data. Your information does not go beyond me and my partner, Dean Tongtaraj from English. Nobody will know. Your name will not be used in a report, just the feedback from it. So I also want to know that you will, it will remain confidential. Nobody else will know you're participating. So we hope to create an open, safe space so you provide your honest feedback. I do have a link that I would hope that you can share. Is that something I could put in the chat or is, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. If you or anybody you know would like to participate, I hope so. And I've also sent it to your AS president and Carrie and Dean Comp. So everybody should have it. If anybody has any questions, you can always email me as well for lots of different things, but I really hope you can provide your time. Really would appreciate you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me make sure that nothing goes. Comments. All right, so thank you again to our public comments. So moving on to introductions and reports. We'll begin with Natalie. And
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. I'm working out a couple of things going on in my life right now. I don't have anything to report other than that the ICC meeting will be completely on Zoom this week because my transportation is very limited right now. I will also not be able to come to the CDC trick or treat that morning. I apologize for that. I'm really sad that I will not be able to see you all. Other than that, that's the end of my report. Thanks.
thank you. You did?
So I attended the academic side on Monday, and I also attended the Saturday game, and we won the game. And then,
It's not a guarantee.
yes, and I also received my first application for the academic commission.
Yeah.
I'm also planning a transfer alumni panel for next month. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Jen. Jay?
I also went to the homecoming game on Saturday, and I think exactly did win. It was awesome. There were a lot of people who joined us to really support our football team. So it's great to see. And I also worked on the student services fund and the student activity fund requests. So that was fun. And I'm also working with the Answer Pantry on a mobile pantry happening on November 2nd. So you can always come by and get a lot of food there. It's free. And I'm also working with Philly and Marissa De La Torre from Answer Pantry on Answer Pantry. With my committee report, with my committee members and I, we did 5 CDC trick or treat snacks and decorations during this week. So yeah, everything will be well on Friday. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Brianna?
Hi everyone, so I will be attending BRAC tomorrow, and then I also worked on the SAF and SSF requests, and we filled out rubrics for it over the weekend. And then I helped out Marcus with all of the homecoming events last week and had a lot of fun. And then for committee reports, we have planned some events for the fall and spring semesters, and members are currently creating budgets for their events.
Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you.
Marcus?
Nothing to report for my report.
Thank you. Jillian?
Yeah, I attended the SEC subcommittee for educational policy. And last week I was town planning my and after shopping this year, I would really like to get a speaker. Her name is Dr. Asian. She's from the Navajo Nation and she's a pretty well-known activist as well as author. And the cost to get her is roughly $6,000, but after speaking to Dr. Bowen, she said that she will contribute $1,000 to get me, which is nice. And just I'm thinking of like items just this role there. And then I'm working on with my group, really talking about how a lot of cancer and quality cultural appropriation happens and spreading knowledge about why we should not do that. So
Thank you, Jillian. Billy?
Yes. So social media last week was business as usual, got some stories, got some posts out, and I also trained John's secretary on board docs and taking minutes. So I'll be planning on doing that for more people as the weeks go by. And last, I'm going to be working with Jay and Marissa to do an awareness campaign. And so far, Marissa told me that she's able to get me data on the usage, of course, it's anonymized. So we're going to be using that to kind of gauge where we can really focus on certain areas for getting awareness.
Thank you, Philly. Jonathan?
Yeah, so I attended homecoming shenanigans. I rode a mechanical shark many times. Currently, what I'm doing is brainstorming town hall ideas, so we can kind of see like where students are at with like how like knowledgeable they are with legislation and stuff like that. Just kind of see what the climate's like. And then for my committee, they did some really funny events. I think a lot of you guys were there and saw that. So I won't really go into that too much. And today's meeting will just be about the rest of our legislative agenda, and we will be voting to basically solidify that at our next meeting. So that's all I have to report.
Thank you, John. Christian?
Quite a few things. So this Saturday on the 23rd, I have my garden cleanup, and we got a lot of volunteers from Yakima, so there were a lot of volunteers there. We moved all the leaves that were trimmed from trees down to the lower plot as compost for fertilizers. So that's gonna be really nice for when we start actually planting seeds. And then yesterday at around 8:30, I had a talk with Dr. Carmen Stephens from Lancer Cares, and we have decided to do an item drive for hygiene products. And I'm thinking that this drive will be from November 14th to December 3rd. And I'm also planning to do a movie night on November 12th, and I'm thinking of showing the Lorax. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And then last night I completed the timeline for both of these events with my vice chair. And then in terms of my committee, we completed our aquaponics research officially, and we have just started doing research on composting and irrigation. So, yeah.
Awesome. Amazing work. Thank you. Matt?
Hi, everyone. Sorry for being late. I thought we were meeting with Tracy. So that's why I'm late. So I'm just working with my own stuff. I'm gonna start working on work lab lessons. I'm gonna be working with this. I've been also trying to do a cheat sheet for the future, the council got one application and I'm just gonna wait for more people to apply. And hopefully the actual will work.
Awesome. Thank you, Nat. David?
Alright, so I'm officially 1 week into my term. I was sworn in. I have not much to report next. The board is having a special meeting next week to approve of bonds, just bonds to pay for construction. And then also we're putting a contract to construct the Saracan building. I'm sure you've all seen the deconstruction going on. So it's good that that's been moving along, that they kept pushing it back. It's still supposed to be. You were supposed to have started construction this semester, but it's good that that's going. And yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you, David. For myself, I just like to report that, I've also been able to inform the Board of Trustees of a few things. I informed them about the resolution regarding the impact students have faced with this last minute decision for professors to opt out of teaching on campus. Been connecting with students on campus and just providing support and guidance, mostly student services, is their concerns. And also, I was reached out by Dr. Pia Alvarado to share a flyer, which I will share in announcements. And that's it for me. Thank you all for your reports. Oh, sorry. Financial report? Me?
So I'm currently working on updating everything with like incorporating all the homecoming budgets. So I will update you guys and send everything next week so that I can give you guys an accurate balance update.
Thank you, Brianna. Advisory reports, Carrie?
Okay, so there's not a lot of need for student voice. And in fact, on Friday, on the 5th, they're asking you for your voice twice. I've been sending you a lot of these things. So please sign up. And if not, I really recommend that you start looking at your committee. A lot of you've got some really great committee members that you have good connections with. So Tony, for instance, let's get him on a committee, right? So what's your vice chair's name?
What?
No,
The new one,
yeah,
one,
no, the other one.
or the,
Gardeni won, any of these folks, Christian, you've got a couple of really good names as well. I don't really know everyone else that well, but let's get them involved in some of these committees. So places where we're asking for student voice. I think if you think that they're an average student, that they express themselves well, let's make sure we sign them up or ask them to sign up, right? Also, let's see if we can start recruiting some of them to sit on some of these committees, because we're trying to really fill the spaces to make sure we have 4 and 5 people present like we're supposed to. And one of the projects that Melvin is working on is just trying to collate all of the committee memberships, the times and dates, so that way we can accurately get people out. So when you see those come your way, please look at them, please consider them. And if you can't do that, make sure you can go. I am off tomorrow, so I'm dead to you. Don't call, don't say, all right, I'm off because I'm gonna be there all day long on Friday because I'm really excited about Halloween trick or treat. We'll do it from the start and we will end it, start it with the kids and end it with the adults and watching her. So if you're there, please come, please help. It's gonna be exciting. Also, thank you to all of you for doing, and especially Marcus and Brianna and, David for getting pizzas and all of you for showing up for doing homecoming and even participate. Like Jonathan being the first one on the shark was fantastic, because people really were like, okay, write this thing. So really do appreciate all of you coming and helping and making it happen. And I think that's a really great example of teamwork. I think there's a lot more that can be done and we'll do a lot more coming in the future. But thank you all for doing that and letting the campus know that we're open and back for business. It was fairly painless. It didn't rain, so that was a really good thing. And the team won, so that's good. In my board report, I have put down the dates because we're this campus, folks on this campus are trying to do a lot to make sure that mental health happens. So I think I sent you all the QPR training. Those are for students. There's 2 dates that are available. Encourage you to sign up for those. And then also there's mental health first aid. It's an in-person workshop. It's kind of long. It's November 4th from 10 to 4 and November 11th, 10 to 4. And those are in person. I We'll check on the November 11th because technically school's closed. So both those QPR and health first aid kit. Again, share this with your committees and encourage them to participate, not just you, but the more students we get to participate, the more I think secure or more helpful our campus or welcoming our campus will be. So please share that. And then don't forget, you just heard from Colleen, sign up for the PRT and if you can't go, send a student that you know and trust. And also the fall planning retreat. I think the only person who signed up, Emmanuel, have you signed up for that?
I'm sorry.
Fall planning retreat with Crystal Ross?
I haven't. I just know that I'm gonna be there. Also, I'm gonna be at all three, and that day is also the dinner.
Oh, okay. Billy signed up, right? I see, yes, right, no, Emmanuel signed up. Okay, okay, that's great. We only need like 3 or 4, so you're good.
Yeah.
But if the rest of you want to go, I think you can still go, but if not, the rest of you can be free to go to Colleen's. And Colleen, so there's a difference. Colleen's is going to be a private focus group of just students. The one that you sign up for with Crystal, that's going to be, and we call that a fishbowl. It's not my favorite style of doing things, but you're going to be up there and a bunch of other staff members are going to be listening and they're going to be like, oh, we had no idea, right? So that's what usually happens. Just be prepared to be a little bit objectified because you're going to be up there and they're going to be speaking. And it's going to be like, oh, it's over Zoom? Okay, so even better, it's over Zoom. But a lot of times they're like, I had no idea that you had to work 45 hours and take 5 classes and still watch your little brother. That's going to be the experience. So, please be prepared. But other than that, thank you all. Okay.
Thank you, Carrie. Make sure P-Cobb isn't with us, right?
No, G-Cobb unfortunately is sick. She has bronchitis.
Oh, that's
Oh.
terrible.
Yeah, so she tried to come into work today. She came into the game on Saturday and we're like, you should probably go home. Because it's cold and damp and she tried to come in today and she said,
Okay, well, hope she feels better. So. Okay, so. Now moving forward with shared governance discussion. Any?
This committee updates from institutional effectiveness. Nothing's really happening right now besides just looking at certificates. We're doing reconciliations for them so we can send it back to the departments. I don't know how many certificates are going to be approved, but a lot of people are just like, I don't like this, how they did the whole kind of like setup. Here's what we're doing. A lot of people felt that certain certificates wasn't.
Anything else? Anyone on Zoom? Natalie? Okay, so thank you all. Moving on to, we have no action items today. I'm moving on to discussion item, which we've rearranged. So we will be now discussion about student space.
So I put this discussion item on here in hopes that Vice President of Business Services and Affairs for the school, Kim Jones, would be here. However, it looks like she's not, but I think we should still have this discussion because it's very much worthwhile. This is something that we could always take notes on and bring it back to her. So if you guys don't remember from the last meeting, success meeting, we kind of discussed about bringing back a space for students because we felt that not only I felt, but a couple of other faculty members felt that it was kind of inappropriate that there's not a space for students to come to the community. And there's a lot of questions on whether or not the office and such space. I did talk about this with Jordan for a bit, and I also believe Carrie and Dean talked to me about it. And they were telling me about how a lot of it is because there's a want to have a central hub for where incoming students can go. However, the biggest problem with this is that incoming students are considered first years and second years. What about third years? What about fourth years? What about non-traditional students? Where do they go to get these services? The main reason that the Welcome Center is where it is right now is because you have Lancer Pantry right there, you have bookstore, you have student services, you have the student bank. So there's a lot of all that going on. At the same time, you have all of these other kind of first year welcome centers, like of course the pathway building and B100 to B102. I believe there's another one. I can't really recall what it is. But I just want to get your guys' input on like what you think we should do in terms of a student model. Should we try to? Personally, I'm all for taking back the welcome center and asking them to relocate to a smaller space because foot traffic I've seen, it's more like 1 or 2 students every hour. It's not like B100 in the pathway building. You guys remember that Thursday where there was just a line all the way down. So yeah, what is everyone's opinion? I would very much like it to report it back to you.
So what's the place on the piazza?
So the piazza is currently going to remain as a study space because there really is no other spaces for students at the moment. And with the library not being fully open yet, that's also another consideration. And once what's it called, food services does come back, it's going to go back to being a food service area. Of course, we did discuss it. I think there's probably I'm not sure if it was a next meeting or not about how we could kind of like cut the piazza in half and like with all these games and stuff over there at the same time. It's
Thank you, Marcus. I personally agree with you. I do think that the college can find a smaller space, especially because there isn't much foot traffic there, or at least now that the semester is already, 9 weeks in. So, I mean, are you planning to report back to Candace, you mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay. And is she like teaming up with facilities or what? Because I think this also is a facilities question.
So another big thing about that is it's not only a facilities thing, it's also dealing with Dr. Douglas. I think we're all aware of who she is within the college. She is the president of the college, and she very much likes that space because, like I said, it's a central location where you have all these student services that people need. So she was very much
Yes, David.
Well, I would say I think it's very reasonable to have. I understand where she's coming from. I think it's understandable to have that welcome center there. But at the beginning of the semester, I think that they should make it a practice to remove that section and make it into a community section like it was before every semester, which may be a lot of work, but I mean that's what it takes to make sure that students are welcome in campus. I think that would be a better idea. Instead of forcing them to relocate, because honestly, right now they're schools usually. We even need to have a welcome center halfway into the semester. There's no classes for people to register for. There's no.
one question everyone's saying, why isn't the pathway also being used as another sort of welcome center? Because I understand the point of pathways is to help people transfer within 2 years, but that's not everyone's goal at PCC. But even then, it's kind of like once you're a 30 year or a 40 year, I've talked to 30 and 40 year students, it's kind of like they don't get the same resources first and second year students get. So it's kind of unfair in my opinion to say, once you hit that 30 or 40 year point, we're kind of going to stop giving you that help that pathway gives. If pathway's true goal is to help students transfer, no matter how long it takes, then they should be focused on taking it 30 or 40 year students, especially.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen Pathways do IDs there. I know they have a machine there. I mean, I know that place is pretty busy. I don't know how we would tie up Pathways into this conversation, but I do believe that, we could maybe ask for them to do a little bit more, not just for FYE and second year or completion students. Yes, Carrie.
So I think going back to what David said is that in the past, it used to be that they would just take that over during the summer and that didn't matter as much because our traffic was lower and it'd be gone. And they would do the summer and then the first 2 weeks of the semester. And then it'd be gone and it'd revert back and our students would use it. I think the question to ask is, I'm gonna throw this up, that building, so that you understand that building used to be yours. It used to be food service on the bottom, Second floor, the majority of that building was associate students. It had the Purple Lounge and they had a smaller space for the curb. Dynamics have changed and things have changed. So now that is being, that a lot of that is being shifted to multi-use, and that's fine. it's an initiative. But I really want to emphasize the fact that that Wi-Fi lounge should be yours. Because it's not only for students in the community, but it's also a space for us to do programs. Chris wants to do a movie in November. I'm skeptical because by November it's cold again. So now we don't have a space. In the past, we go to the left. So it is something that, and so people are talking about spaces and services and operations. Then what is the L building for? That's where you have registration. That's where you have financial. And not all those offices don't be fooled. Not all those offices are represented in the Wi-Fi. So why do we have that when that's what the L building is supposed to be? And I just wanted to be so very clear to you that I really would like to have you advocate loudly, often, to everyone whom you speak with, that students need to have that space. Because spaces at a premium on this campus, and people are looking at it and saying, oh, we're gonna take that. But you as students need to exercise this voice that you have, right? You're all on these committees that they want you to be on. Well, you know what? Then they're gonna listen to you say, well, we have concerns about our space. Because we can't just go into the English department and say, you know what? We don't use your conference room, so we're gonna take that. They're doing that with CC 212, your room upstairs. Yes, they want to take that. They say it's listed this. So that's why I'm telling all of you, when you have your meetings, you have to have your question meetings. And then also with the Wi-Fi downstairs. So I hear that, you know, there are needs. I agree during the summer, I think it's fantastic. But I'll also say this, during the summer, 1 year, they converted Harbison Hall into a welcome center. Because it was right up front facing the students and they could find it really well. So, you know, when we get new food service people, that food area is going to go away. It's not going to be a quiet study area. It's going to be a food space. Then those students are now going to migrate over to one. So, can't emphasize enough, now's the time that you all need to start asking these questions at all your committees. And to every, and then you need to make appointments with all your admins, saying this is our space and we want it.
Yeah.
You can, but I think you need to work the channels first.
Which I want to just let y'all know, a few weeks ago, I believe you reported out, Jay and myself have been meeting with Dr. Legal pretty often, and we've addressed this with her a few weeks ago. You know, clearly, if we bring it back, then she'll recognize that it's important for us to get this space back or another space, right? But that has been brought up, and I would encourage you all to email her and let her know what your concerns are for this matter. Yes, Carrie.
I think it needs to go beyond Dr. Oliva. Because I believe she has not raised it at management or at executive. So she knows.
And yeah, that's something that we could bring up next time we invite us, like, and then we can have that discussion with them there. We can report back what they say.
Right. Yes,
Is
Mark.
this something we could also mention at College Council? Because it is really the ICC of our campus for all of us in terms of bigger divisions and committees. Couldn't we, as associated students, who's representative for that? Yeah, John, could you turn that around? Because it's not.
I think the thing is this, I think you need to also, well, get you all riled up, I think you need to be strategic. Because then you are fronting everyone in front of everyone else. And if you haven't had individual conversations with everyone else, then it becomes problematic, right? So you probably, I think you need to talk to these folks individually and have your meetings. And then if things are still not moving, then we discuss. Because I think there's a real concern with the pandemic is throwing everything up in the air and people feel like everything's hurting. And where we are is prime location because we're right in the corner. So we need to make sure that we tell them this is ours. Otherwise, they're gonna take everything and we're gonna be put in what's behind the wheel, side village or whatever. some crazy thing. So,
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Jay?
Doesn't Dr. Joyce have an office hour coming up? Can we go talk to her at that time?
Use AS officers, even Emmanuel has to have the ability to make an appointment with her. She should be willing to see. you, because you're all on.
Yeah, so definitely, I'd walk in there and ask Harmony to schedule an appointment or find out what's her availability if you'd like to meet with her outside of those office hours, which I'm sure might be best because I'm assuming she's expecting many students. But I mean, you could do both. I would encourage that, I personally reach out and try to meet with her. Busy person, so definitely we just got to get on her radar and let her know what's important. Yes.
But it seems like she has an open office hour that Alex also had sent out.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You should definitely attend that.
And then make an appointment.
Yeah, and you could.
Do you want them jumping into the exec once you're next? It's also, so there's something called chain of command. And so part of it is president to president. Right? And you can go during open office hours, but that's meant for everybody. And what I'm saying is that as AS officials, we generally deserve the courtesy of a private meeting. Which you can do, but at the same time, she's looking at Emmanuel as her and David as their main point of contact. So if you decide to go, I think it needs to be in conjunction with a conversation with these two. So when you go.
Yeah, so I think I still recommend you go see her, but as a student, take off that badge and let her know what your real concerns are as a student. Because I think that's kind of what she's expecting also. Being available, I'm not sure she's making that also to be available to staff, which I doubt. But yeah, I mean, I will definitely reach out to her, try to schedule an appointment, or at least for them not to forget us for the next executive board meeting with them, like David and myself. But definitely, I like Matt's idea, but I think something that we could do is just speak to students and actually have them share what they need. Making that paper trail. Of course, we can get signatures, but that's what we're pushing. If we can get them to express how it is important for them to have something that can protect them during the rain or sun, the heat, that might help us also. Yes, Carrie?
I think they're always asking us for data. So my question is, what is the data and usage for the role? So whatever you do, I think you have to have a coordinated plan. And I don't know who the coordinator for that is. If it should be Manuel or David or Marcus, whoever, you should have a coordinated plan.
Do you know who actually runs the welcome center?
So I think it is under, it should be under Cynthia Leo. I think it's in conjunction with Rob.
Klein? Over at Pathways?
I'll just reach out and ask for that if they have any data, specific data on traffic.
Oh, Denise Carter. Denise Carter.
So we've got David, who's going to reach out to Denise Carter, and then I'm assuming Brock, if necessary. I would like to ask Marcus that if you can please, check in with everyone, find out what events we have. For example, he mentioned, Christian mentioned a few movie nights. So we have a timeline and show that, it's not just we need the space, it's we have stuff planned where we could benefit if we had that available. And, you know, I know Christian has a few timelines, that might be sufficient to show. But if you can think of any other events that you have planned, you can line them up with that, and that'll help us.
That space is more than enough for us to have that whole event set up and everything like that too as well. Because it's a really big space, it's just a big cubicle.
So, yeah, and that's part of the thing too, is that's one of the few spaces where A, you could have multimedia, B, you can have student seating and programming, and C, you can have food, right? So the sad thing is, yeah, we could do Christian's movie night in Harbison Hall because it's warm and it's a nice big center, it's got great sound, but you can't have food in there. Right? So again, it goes back to, it's not just study space, it's a program space that we use, it's a community space. And when you look at all other colleges, they have a student union, they have a space for students to be. In fact, it's usually like pretty expensive. They usually have a TV room or a music room. They may have ping pong or pool or activities for students. And they also have a space for students to study. And they have spaces for people to eat their food up, wash their dishes. So you're not asking for anything that is out of the ordinary of normal everyday student life. In any 4-year college, we can use. But I feel like if we don't say something and start saying we need this back, we are going to lose it.
Jay, can you pull up, can you let us know what those office hours are for Dr. Jones? If you're able to pull up that email.
It was yesterday.
Oh,
Passed already, but I'm pretty sure she have the other ones in the future.
I believe it's more than one.
Sure. So,
what do y'all think about asking Dr. Jonas to join us in our meeting? She can really hear it. I mean, obviously, it's not like she can say no, you know. How she will say that. We just want to have something to
Did
show
you
that.
invite her over summer?
Pardon?
Did we invite her over summer?
No,
Oh,
I wasn't able to meet with her. I was trying to meet with her first, but eventually got that done.
so we never actually asked her to come to me.
No, there was, I mean, I've made it a thing. I've announced it at the executive meeting that it would be great for them to join us. I've informed them of how they can access our agendas, where I would post them as well.
You have to send a direct invitation.
Yeah,
Because I think she will. say that.
okay. I mean,
college both like said that you're willing to be a liaison, so we can just send them the agenda. Preferably, we're gonna want to send them in meetings that we actually want them to be there. We don't want it to be at every meeting.
You can send to him so that people, he's aware. But what I'm going to suggest is, I think these are all really great ideas. But what I'm going to suggest is that maybe the three of you get together and you make a cohesive plan so that you cover the bases and that you're laying the foundation. Because there's nothing more annoying than you all go hit up the president first. And the president doesn't operate like that. She's got people underneath her to work these things through. So she's not going to give you an answer saying, oh yeah, of course you should have that. So I think you need to work your way through the system up to chain of command. So what I'm suggesting is the three of you, plus Candace should be involved in part of the conversation. So who else would be interested? You can't have someone.
I think, in my opinion, it should be kind of like, if you want to talk to people like Carrie, but when you're showing feedback doing this factor, it should be a respected position. This academic career, she should be the person for Dr. Jones student equity. She already has a very good relationship with Carrie. And like we all know this business place that should be for Dr. And like, I mean, me, David, and ultimately tag along with what.
But I think you just need to have a plan so that it's cohesive and that you're getting.
yeah, so I'll create a doodle poll. Find out where your availability is and also David's. And then we can we can be able to, create a plan and then move forward. That's good
Oh, yeah, I'd definitely be interested.
as well.
Because I also wanted to say some stuff, but I think we better do it with those three, because I don't want to spend too much time. on this discussion right
Right, I mean, we've got an hour left,
now. Okay.
so
I mean,
feel free.
Well, you got some other things and.
Yeah, I want to wrap it up, but like Carrie was saying, I was kind of like hearing a lot of this stuff, and I was like, this is very like big and wide, but I really wanted us to focus in on something, because I think the consensus is that students do want it back, and if, like Carrie said, not out of the ordinary. Literally on Discord, some people were like, "Do you have any ping pong tables?" And then a lot of people were like, "Oh, you don't?
Very
Like
cool.
that's weird, right? Like just ping pong tables." And so like the consensus is there, but obviously sometimes you need the data. But also like when we're can't just go up to doctor and go and say, like, hey, we want it back. But like for me, I like trans and like going focused on that stuff. And I think I want to bring up something that Marcus said earlier about pathways. Because they've been expanding very rapidly recently, and I've been having talks with them and James Gold. And like, for example, they doubled their office space, like because before a former part of the building was not even constructed yet, but like they've been expanding since the past few years. And the thing is that transfer students are only like what, 20% of students at PCC. And the fact that they're expanding and the fact that Dr. Andrew Jonas wants that space to be like all in one place. But we also have pathways, which does the exact same thing. As counselors, it has ID stations and all that. So what I'm trying to focus us on is having that solution where if Dr. Andrew Jonas wants a place that's one and done, you can have pathways. Who's only serving 17%, but I know the people there, they're very hardworking, they're good staff, and I think we should discuss some things with them. That way, if we go up to Dr. Andrew Jonas, he's not like, okay, what about counselor availability? Because that's been an issue with honors counselors. And I've had talks with James Cole as well, that's the issue. And unless we address that issue, then obviously Dr. Andrew Jones is gonna have something to say. So I think I definitely want to discuss these things with you three. And I think that I just want to add that as a potential solution.
Right on. Thanks, Rob. Okay.
Yeah, you can also add me on to this, because I think the last time that we met with Dr. Evo, she has been really pushing on really redesigning the L building to make it into a space for students, right? Like demolishing the front desks and like having an open space in there. So I think that's why she didn't have a priority of really talking about the welcome center and in a sense changing it into a student space, because she has another vision of hers of making the L building into something else that is similar to what we're really pushing for. So I guess if we push our voice on really demanding that welcome center to be a student space, then yeah, I think that's the best thing.
Right. Thank you, Jay. Never mind. Anything else? Natalie? Any comments on this matter?
No, I would just like that doodle poll so I can say when I'm available and attend the meeting.
Okay, I'll make sure to send that to you too. Thank you. Okay, so. All right, so moving on. Thank you all again. Great discussion. Thanks, Marcus, for bringing that up. Okay, so now we have discussion about ASPCC winter retreat. And I guess the floor is yours, Carrie.
So, usually we have a mid-year retreat and that happens in January. And I'll leave it up to you. I guess, well, we have to pick a date, and I know this. If we don't pick a date now, you all are gonna go on vacation, you're all gonna get work schedules, your families are gonna come. So this is one day, I'm asking for one day. Whole day, a long day, but we need to pick a date. So looking at January, Emmanuel, can you go to our website and pull up the academic calendar? So just to think about it, there's another thing. I know that there's some of you that haven't had the joy of having it overnight with us. I'm not sure your budget would cover an overnight. Unless you want to reallocate some of your budget, we could do it overnight. But another thing is, so we're going to start classes, oops, no, go down, go the other way. We're gonna be January 2022.
Oh,
So classes start on the 10th. The 7th is some sort of day. I think it's professional development day.
yeah, Flex Day.
Yeah. And go back it up again, go back up. Okay, so the college is closed. So this is the thing. We could pick a Saturday. We could pick January 8th and do all day January 8th. And you start class on the 10th. So that's one option. Or we could do another day, like the 4th, 5th, or 6th. Or we can go later in the semester. If folks think that they're going to travel and they're going to be back. Anyone going out of town for Christmas? What time are you coming back?
I think I might be coming back next year.
That's a good time to come
I
back.
don't
next
know.
year. Would you be back by the 8th?
I think so. I'm like 85% sure.
85%.
I can
What's
check
that?
that.
80%.
It's-
What about anyone else? You're kidding, really?
I'm not even allowed to request this days off.
What?
Spirit. Spirit.
How did people need coffee?
Very bad.
People like those red cups. So we go out.
Oh.
Oh.
We get lines when we're open, like when we're opening, we have a line already.
Perfect.
This is great.
The Tabas is
I can make that happen.
Get out.
I would literally say, I would see where.
I like coffee all night.
Next.
Okay, so keep this going. So then would you all be, when does prime time end for sure? After this, but like June, January 8th is after Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine, but.
Okay. I'm thinking, why are people so
Wait, because you
excited?
asked for Christmas week, I'm like.
Okay, but so is everyone gonna be back in town by the 8th?
Yeah.
So we just found out we do have $5,200. We could do an overnight if you wanted to do an overnight. But keep this in mind, because this is now leading into the next conversation I was gonna have with you all, is that Jonathan has gratefully agreed to fund you all.
Thank you.
We're going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure you all are. How about a service runner event? No, so the California Community College League sponsors a legislative conference. And that happens Sunday, June 30th. So it's actually very good for you all to go because it's great. Because remember at the beginning, I was trying to get you to understand the system the California Femologists are in. This is really good because that does that. You're not available.
No, January 30th.
Yeah, you said June.
January,
And what city?
Sacramento.
Ooh.
Wait, how long?
Obviously, you've never been to
I have
Sacramento.
been to Sacramento.
Never been.
I went to go see the state capitol.
So this is the other thing is the idea is we could combine this, we could go up, we could fly up, I don't know if we can afford it. We could fly up, so the plan was that we'd fly up on Saturday. We would have a little bit of time to do stuff on Saturday, spend Saturday night, Sunday morning, get up early, do the conference all day, and then fly home that night so you can all go to class on Monday. So there's that. So we are having that overnight as a group. We could, if you wanted to, we could have Brianna do some research. I'll make you in charge of that to see would it be possible for us to afford with Jonathan paying for Saturday night, we could fly up Friday, AS pay for Friday night, and we could do activities and leadership stuff on Saturday, spend Saturday night, and then go to the conference on Sunday. You can see if we could do that. So that's another option.
I mean, if we are concerned about spending the $5,000 in the budget, we in theory are still figuring out our final budget from homecoming.
We can't.
That's no particular day of following event.
But you've got 5,000, so we just need to pay for, Jonathan, we pay
Make it a
for.
legislative event.
Yeah. Oh, we could try and leave.
You can,
I think so. That'll be fun. So
Okay.
let's do-
So then I guess I'm sorry, Manuel, I'm now going into B, I'm transitioning B and C at the same
In
time.
the comment, Natalie mentioned she's good for January 7th, 8th, or 9th.
Okay, how is Natalie good for, the calendar? So would you all be able to leave on Friday, the 28th and spend the weekend in Sacramento, 28, 29, and come back on the 3rd?
In June?
January, sorry, not June.
Okay.
So Jonathan, is for the airfare up, you would just have to cover hotel for one night and food for one day. And then he would cover hotel for the other night and the food for the other. Sure.
Sorry, can you repeat those dates?
So June, I'm sorry, January 28, 29, and 30. And I believe, Jonathan, you and one other person will be staying another day because you will lobby with the board of trustees Monday. Monday night. And for you, it's a 4 days. So can I get a promise from all of you that you will hold 2 weekends until we can get clear? That you'll hold a one day, you can do Friday and Saturday if you want, you can do it overnight, January 7th and 8th. And you will hold Friday, January 28th, Saturday 29, Sunday 30. Because if Brianna can find out how much it is and if it fits into our budget, then we will do our retreat day in Sacramento.
Nice.
Okay, let's do this, because part of this, for me, this is about teamwork. And I am now asking one of your teammates to do some work. And it's really disrespectful if you fail.
Got a comment by Natalie.
Oh, now what'd you say?
Might have nationals for speech and debate tournament. When do you need that?
Well, let's say that.
Like-
So let's give that, Brianna like a week to figure out the cost. Okay, so this is kind of my proposal. We all go or we don't go. For Sacramento. Because this is a team thing. And this is a group thing. And this is the discussion. If we're gonna go forth to plan an event, to buy tickets, to get hotel, to go to the freaking board of trustees for permission. And then one person says, oh, my aunt's coming in, I can't go. And don't laugh, because you all will pull that bullshit. Right? So can we agree as a group that if once we set the date, everyone's 100% in, and if one person's out, then we'll call.
Sure.
It doesn't matter, we got everyone tickets and people fail. Yes.
I think he's good. I'm bailing.
Yeah, you.
He's gonna be going.
What's your induction day?
24th.
Oh.
January.
Sorry.
We could also do a retreat to
Really?
January 7th.
Okay, so that's all I have for that. Brianna will come back. Brianna will meet with me. We'll both work in 6 days. We'll send an email out and then we'll ask you all to confirm. Okay? All right. Thank you. That's actually A and B.
Yep.
So for B.
Well, B and C.
B and C.
Yeah, so, okay, now we got. So it's not the way. D has been scratched. So what is now D, discussion about future events? We continue this conversation. Okay,
About which one?
future events, anything else that,
Yes, future events. So let's do this. That's Lindsay. So the other thing is I need confirmation who is who is going to the hunt?
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Okay,
All you're gonna do, only time.
seriously, you all.
1% of the 1%.
If you want to see how the mail lives, this is it. Let me text them. Okay, so a couple things. Lindsay wanted to go over, I just texted her. She's gonna spend some time with you talking a little bit about what to expect. So first of all, do you all have business attire?
Yeah, yes.
Gentlemen, that's gonna be coat and tie. And for ladies, it's gonna be appropriate, either a business suit or a skirt. If it's a dress, it should be business appropriate, so professional. All right, so that's the first thing. And did everyone RSVP?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not sure about the nature of this. I'm hoping she'll-
I just want to note that Melvin will be joining us as well for that dinner. Melvin.
Hey, so we're at the end of the meeting, basically, so were you able to come in? Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to motion to take
Okay.
a
I was
5-minute
gonna say, yeah,
restroom
you
break.
want to run to my office. You can use my
Um,
office.
First by David,
Up to you, whatever you feel.
Second.
Yeah. you know, you're-
no opposition? None, thank
They're
you.
taking a break, so you're good.
We'll be taking a break, Natalie.
Yeah, she's coming on, she's on campus.
Right on. All right, Melvin, Kelly, Natalie, we'll be taking a break from the restroom.
Okay.
Got it.
I think I showed you.
Hi, Manuel. David, can y'all hear me?
I can, Natalie.
I'm wondering if they can hear me. I have to leave.
Here now.
Hi, I have to leave at 1:30. I have another meeting. So I would appreciate it if we could get started. Otherwise, could I leave now? Since there's only like 3 more items.
So just tell her, watch what everyone else does and take.
Did you hear that? So we're waiting on Lindsay. She's joining us on Zoom. We're gonna go over kind of what to expect for this foundation dinner. But I think you're good. I'll make a note that you had to take off early, but that shouldn't impact you. We can give you an update, or you can just watch the video and see what Lindsay had to say.
Yeah, I'll just watch it later tonight. Okay, thanks. Bye, everyone.
Have a good day.
Say again, Lindsay.
Wait, what is
Council
pre-law
isn't
do?
established yet. How are they gonna?
Tell me on
Are you unmuted, Lindsay?
Yo,
You're still
wait,
muted.
The only other job I know owns that.
wait, John, why did you resign? Sorry, my friend did die.
Okay. She's gonna leave and then log back.
Okay.
I'm starting to go to therapy like twice. They're crazy. You know what it is.
Hey, so
Okay, hi everybody. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, Kelly. AS, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please give me.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Lindsay, I had penne or a calzone today.